Hey, this is Dr. Andre Evans, and you are watching Fresh Thought Fridays. Thanks for joining. So, today's Fresh Thought is self-talk, right? It's not that you're having a full conversation with yourself, but what are the words kind of you let come out of your mouth throughout the day or when you're facing adversity, seasons in your life, right? That type of self-talk. What do you say when you're faced up against something, right? I have in my hand one of our staff outlines. Every month we have a staff meeting, and at the back of every outline, there are three major sections, and in those sections there's kudos, and this is where a colleague has written down something that you've done well and they want to share it. Then there is staff appreciation, and this is where any of the employed staff within the entire hospital can write something special about you, and it'll be said during your department meeting. But then there's something called special recognition. And this special recognition comes from department chairs, administrators, executives, shift leaders. So it's a leadership position that has written something about you, and they've given it to your director, and that director shares it during the meeting. I'm always caught off guard when, not off guard, it always kind of puzzles me whenever my name gets in here. Not because I'm not a great employee. God has definitely anointed me to be pretty good at what I do. But it always puzzles me because oftentimes I'm saying to myself, after they've read this, I'm saying to myself, but doesn't everybody do that? Right? So I'm going to just summarize what was said because of HIPAA laws. I can't tell everything. So just summarizing, it says, Andre always comes in with a can-do attitude and a calm spirit. It just doesn't matter how many patients are waiting or what's on the to-do board. He always looks at it and begins to work through it. And he never misses anything as he's going through it. We all could use a little bit more of that spirit when we are faced with things we have to do. So that's just a quick summary. And again, the reason why it just kind of puzzles me is because I'm thinking to myself, in the position I'm in, aren't we all doing that? But then I realize it's not that everyone's not me, because it has nothing to do with me. But what I realize is everyone doesn't use the same method I use in order to get through the day the way I get through it, right? And it really is a method. It's a habit. It's not a routine. It's a response that I've learned to have over the years, right? And so what happens is I come in and I see this craziness on the board, but before my thoughts can turn negative, the first thing I do is I let my words set the positive, the optimistic tone, right? Because I understand that what comes out of my mouth is going to tell me whether I'm going to succeed or whether I'm going to have a tough shift, right? So as soon as I see all this craziness, the first thing I do within 30 seconds of seeing it is say, all right, let's do this. That's all I say. And then I immediately get started. I don't give myself time to have a negative thought, and I don't give myself time to operate in a negative habit. And there's a reason why. The first thing I understand is that my job is going to do what it's going to do. Just like life is going to do what it's going to do. So you can't stop life from being life. I can't stop my job from being job. I can't stop the devil from being the devil. What habits have I developed, and what words am I using to set myself up for success? Because my response is how I get myself in a position of success. Your words literally change everything. It reminds me of a very familiar passage that Solomon writes in the book of Proverbs chapter 18. He says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. What you say is going to bring death or it's going to bring life, and those who like to speak, they're going to eat that fruit, whether it's the fruit of death or the fruit of life. The question becomes is, what kind of habits are you getting yourself into, right? See, I found that too many of us who are believers, who are Christians, who trust God, have faith in God, we get in the habit of letting the first thing come out of our mouth be negative. God, I just got out of this struggle. Why am I in another struggle? God, when do I get a break? And there's a danger in that. Number one, because what you're really saying is God, when do I get a moment in this life where I don't need you? I want you to think about that. When do I get a break just so I don't have to deal with anything that requires me to be dependent upon you? I don't know about you, but I never want a break from God. Doesn't mean I invite adversity, but it means I got to change the way I speak when adverse moments come up. Because I don't ever want to break from God. I need God to show me He's God every single day of my life. I need God to show me his power, His authority. I need God to show me that He is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He is ruler of every single day of my life. So it's not that I'm telling life, stop being life. No, life is going to be life. It's going to hand you some up moments and some rough moments. And I always want God to be God. So I don't say, God, when do I get a break? No, because I don't ever want to break from God, right? Instead, what God is showing me oftentimes, and He may be showing you, is watch how you speak. The fact of the matter is God has been showing us how He speaks, the power of words since Genesis. When God said, let there be light, that's power. When God said, let there be firmament, let there be expanse, let there be birds of the air, beasts of the field. And then He said, let us make man in our image, and He breathed life. God has been speaking power into words since the beginning of life itself. And so God is showing us there, watch how you speak. Watch what words you use. And what's so interesting is Solomon, when he writes this, that death and life are in the power. That word power, when you translate it back to Hebrew, it means hand. Let that sink in for a second. What your words literally do is hand you fruit. And it's fruit of death or it's fruit of life. Your words, what you say, are handing you something. That's what that word power means. And the reason why it's attributed to power is because once you say it, you can't take those words back. You don't have the power to bring that word back, but your words have the power to hand you something. See, it's that reason why I don't get to the point where I say, why, God? Because why has a tendency to point out the negative. I get to the point where I say, how, God? Yeah, I see what I'm facing. How you going to work this thing out, Lord? I see what's coming up against me. I don't say, God, when do I get a break? I say, God, when's my breakthrough coming? I don't need a break. I need a breakthrough. You hear what I'm saying? So God is literally saying to you, I need you to understand what you speak. That's what's going to allow some things to keep going. See, if I speak negative, why me? Why again? I'm giving power to the negative. But when I speak, hey God, how you going to work this out? Hey God, I'm ready for my breakthrough. What I do is I speak God continuing to be God, and I need God to keep being God. And so now, when I face everything, when you face anything, when something comes up, listen, I know you just got out of one struggle and there's another one coming, but watch the first words you say. Don't ask God why, ask God how. Don't ask God for a break, ask God for a breakthrough. Self-talk. There's power in what you say. You can't stop life from being life. But what you can do is watch your mouth. That's why self-talk is today's fresh thought. Amen.